Hi, everybody. Welcome to the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. I go by Water Pokemon Master on the website. And I am joined as always by my wonderful... I don't know why I'm doing an accent. I am joined as always by my wonderful friend.
Justin Basil of JustinBasil.com, who is not putting on an accent.
I don't know why I do that. Sometimes people call me out. My friends call me out on that all the time. I just do. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, we have really big news to get into this week. So let's start with the big story of the week, which is that a new set named Battle Partners has been revealed through distributor listings. It'll release in Japan on January 24th. And as we are about to get into, it seems that it may be introducing owners Pokemon back into the TCG. So,
hey, just real quick, who was it that was talking about owners Pokemon at Butcher? Who was that?
Yeah, you called it at NAIC. You said
that's right. That was me. Okay, yeah. Just want to make sure.
At NAIC, you were suggesting, after we knew that the Glory of Team Rocket was coming out, that it might be Rocket's Pokemon that are returning, being owners Pokemon. I think your argument at the time was that they can do more with introducing owners Pokemon. Like they could have different sets doing different themes, whereas if it was just like dark Pokemon, that would be a little too one-off, I think. Is that what we were... Is that what it was? Yeah.
That was just an argument,
Yeah. So, hold on. So let me, the set is called Battle Partners. Releasing alongside the set will be a Collection File N and Collection File Lily. As the name implies, Battle Partners will feature notable Pokemon trainers alongside their Pokemon. Okay, so if you're just reading this part of the news story, your immediate thought is, okay, we're going to be getting maybe some like character rares or something, seeing artwork of maybe Pokemon alongside their trainers. That would be like the first natural assumption, I feel like, right? That's what you would think. But here's where it gets interesting. On February 21st, two pre-constructed decks named Starter Set EX Stevens Beldum and Metagross EX and Starter Set EX Marnie's Morpeko and Grimmsnarl EX will release. This seems to be indicating the return of owners Pokemon because it's got Steven and Marnie in the title of the product. I don't know if it's completely for sure, but my assumption, my immediate assumption looking at this is that the cards would be called like Steven's Beldum and Steven's Metagross EX and Marnie's Morpeko and Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. I think maybe it's just shorthand. There is also
probably shortened, yeah.
Yeah, but there is also the possibility that they just threw the trainers into the name of the deck product title because it's their Pokemon, but that might not actually be the card names. So it's a little bit, we don't really know exactly what's going on, but they have to know that by naming the products that way, that's what people would be assuming is happening. Like that doesn't seem to be like an accident. Like that, to me, again, this is speculation, but that to me seems like that's saying that we're going to get owners Pokemon again. And we've had owners Pokemon in so many different forms over the years. We've obviously had the original owners Pokemon back from Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, where it was just they had the trainer's name in the title of the card, and then you would have certain trainer cards that helped those trainers and their Pokemon. And then later in the Diamond and Pearl era, we got, was this Diamond? Yeah, Diamond and Pearl era, obviously, because it's got Cynthia on the card. We had the Pokemon SP, which had shorthand for trainers in the card names. So here we have C for Champion / Cynthia. We had FB for Frontier Brain, not Facebook. We had 4 for the Elite Four. We had GL for Gym Leaders. So those cards had the shorthand for the trainer class that they were representing. And then a little icon of the trainer, sort of like how the gym sets did and traditional owners Pokemon. So that was one way they did the mechanic. And then we also had we've also had Team Plasma Pokemon, which just had like a label on the card. It was a label mechanic, just being Team Plasma on the card. And then they had certain trainers and effects that would target the card if it had Team Plasma. That's what we call like a label mechanic. Okay, Justin Basil just reminded me that I have not been showing the article this whole time. So here's the article, and now I'm going to show the... He interrupted me and said, hey, you're not showing the website. You're not showing the cards you're talking about. So here's Misty's Gyarados having the owner in the title. Garchomp C level X having the C in the card title for Champion/Cynthia. And then... here's Team Aqua's Kyogre EX, which is just the name of the card in the name of the team in the title. So we'll see what they do. They could be going all the way back to the original mechanic.
That's what I would prefer them to do. I would prefer them to go back to the original like Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge style, where you get the Misty's Gyarados, the Erika's Oddish, that kind of style where it's very clear that it's this particular trainer's Pokemon. Like if we get a Marnie's Morpeko, that's cool. If we get a Lily's Vulpix, Alolan Vulpix, right? That would be ideal. I think that would be the best way to go about this without like having to completely introduce a brand new mechanic in the middle of a generation. Now they could still use this as the year 3 mechanic, but I think even just like the simple owner's Pokemon is probably good enough because it's something that's reasonably interesting to players because obviously typically these Pokemon evolve from that owner's Pokemon. So Misty's Gyarados evolves from Misty's Magikarp, which limits, how broken the cards get after a certain amount of time. But because these are trainer cards also with obviously they're going to be doing a bunch of very popular trainers, this makes it very enticing for collectors to get involved too, right? Oh, it's Misty's Gyarados. I need to get Misty's Gyarados.
You just cut out for me. Every episode. I had 2 things to say for the parts I heard. One was you had originally asked me a long time ago what was something in one of the episodes. You said, like, what is something that you would like the TCG to do? And I said I liked how the gym sets had owner's Pokemon because it helped trading card game players know who these gym leaders are. It made them more memorable. Like it kind of solidified them in your heads. Whereas like these days we've had like so many gym leaders over the years, and I feel like if we had cards of those gym leaders as we went, they would have been so much more memorable because, the franchise has obviously the Pokemon designs, but there's also the character designs. And sometimes it's easy to forget who these characters are, and they kind of blend together a lot because they're only of their generation. They're only, a gym leader or something. And then you kind of forget about them, so they're not as memorable. So I also do hope that they do something like the original gym sets where it's owner's Pokemon. But then my second point is, won't that make it kind of convoluted? Because if, like with the Pokemon SP, they did like just sort of a gym leader class, an Elite Four class. So if they had like, let's say they did like a whole gym set of all the 8 times 9 generations of gym leaders. Some generations have more gym leaders, but I mean, that would be so many different stadiums and trainers that have to target specific gym leaders or specific members of the Elite Four.
Well, the thing is, they can say, this supporter affects owner's Pokemon. They can do that. Like the rulebook already understands how to refer to these cards. I don't see why that would be an issue in the actual card game itself.
The rulebook mentions owner's Pokemon?
It does when talking about names of Pokemon, what constitutes a name.
Oh, that makes sense. Of course they would mention it for that part because people always ask like, hey, can I evolve, Misty's Magikarp into base set Gyarados? Okay, well, I guess they could do something like that. My point is just that like it might get convoluted if there's like the owner on every single card, like if they're using all these different owners. But I mean, also like back then a set was, the gym sets were 132 cards. Nowadays the sets are like what, like 200 some odd cards. So
By the time you add in all the secret rares, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
So
they've
if
toned it down a little bit in Scarlet and Violet, because I think the cap's like 170, 180 roughly for Scarlet and Violet era for before secret rares. But part of that is also that they've dumped all the full arts into the secret rares in the English sets. So
I guess what I'm saying is that the sets are larger now, and we have so many of them that they maybe could get away with doing like what you're saying, like what the gym sets did with Owner's Pokemon, because they would have that amount of cards they're releasing to support that. But I just feel like it's a little more clean to do like classes like GL. FB.
See, that's convoluted. Like, it's a lot simpler to okay, this is Sabrina's Gengar versus, this is a funky looking 4 that you're supposed to understand means Elite 4.
I guess I could see that too. Well, I mean, we'll see what they do. Let's go back to the product name real quick. So it's Stevens Beldum and maybe Stevens Metagross EX. My question when I saw this title first was, why is it Beldum and Metagross, and where's Metang? Is it that these decks are featuring like 2 Pokemon on the cover, so they just decided to go with Beldum and Metagross and cut out Metang because typically the middle stages in Pokemon are less popular? Like, is that what they're doing? Is this saying that...
Probably.
Yeah, it's like, because they did Marnie's Morpeko and presumably Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX, so maybe it's just that, like, Metagross is the real star of the deck, and their Beldum would just be, I guess, the next best card in the deck. Who knows what's happening? But
the fact is, we don't know yet. It's too early. That's what it comes down to.
Oh, also, I want to point out, when I first posted this story, I had said that it appears the owner's cards may feature multiple Pokemon, like tag team cards. This could be indicated by the "and" in their names, the ampersand. But it was pointed out to me after I posted that, past decks have used the "and" in their names before, and that didn't mean tag team. So that speculation is moot. It's definitely not tag team. It's just, they're just saying 2 cards. And then with the reveal of these distributor listings, this now means that the glory of Team Rocket is for sure coming out after Battle Partners, which I think makes complete sense because Battle Partners would obviously be the first set of the year to introduce whatever this mechanic is going to be. And then we would start to get like more specialized sets featuring like a group of trainers. So for Glory of Team Rocket, it would make sense for it to be a Team Rocket themed set. So maybe this will be the subset of, or the, what is it, subset? The, whatever the set, the A set for Battle Partners, or maybe it'll be its own.
I mean,
set.
I brought this up when we first were talking about Owner's Pokemon versus our Pokemon, but like the fact that they could do something like, these are the Kanto gym leaders, also here's Team Rocket. These are the Johto gym leaders, also here's Team Rocket. Here's Hoenn, here's Team Aqua and Magma. Like, they can do that for each generation. And that could be really cool.
I wish they were doing that, but it looks like they're already all over the place with Ann Lily and Iono. So
ever since Sun and Moon ended, they've been kind of less themed on their sets, I've noticed. Yeah. Because, like, Sun and Moon era, they were like, this is the, like, Ultra Prism was very much the Sinnoh set, right? Lost Thunder was very much the Johto set. Or at least their Japanese equivalents were. And that's not really the case anymore with these later sets.
I think fans would really love if that makes it more fun to collect if they're like themed after a certain generation, but maybe they do that because certain generations aren't as popular. So maybe just mixing them up just makes something for everybody in these sets. So people pick up the sets if they're fans of any generation, because it'll have every generation of cards in it. I don't know, but I would absolutely love if they did like a Gen 1 and Gen 2, and then a Gen 3 and a Gen 4, and a Gen 5 and a Gen 6 set. We have lost Justin Basil. He has gotten up from his chair, presumably related to his kitty.
Ira was throwing a tantrum, so he has been asked to leave.
He's been excommunicated from your room.
He gets it in his head that if he is not getting the attention he demands, he starts going up on my card table and throwing everything off of it he can get his hands on. So he's been already tossing stuff to the ground in the middle of you talking.
Oh my God. There weren't any rare cards on your table, I hope.
No, he got an Elite Trainer box and a couple of sleeved stuffs, but he did this. I was on the Guts Win podcast. It's been probably a couple years ago now. And over the course of that podcast, he proceeded to knock every single pack of sleeves and deck box off of the desk during the podcast.
That's so cute. My cat only likes to knock over water in cups that I leave around. I think he's just his way of reminding me to put the cups in the dishwasher or something. He likes a clean house. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Before we knew about this was the direction they were going, I was like, oh, Worlds will be like the Mega Evolution announcement. But I guess Worlds is going to be this now. It's going to be the
most likely. Yeah, I think this is the announcement for Worlds. And that'll be cool, right? They can show stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be there, so I'll take pictures right away as soon as they announce it and post it and write the story after. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm really excited about this because I've always said that the trainers are just as important as the Pokemon. Like, that's what the franchise is about, is trainers working with Pokemon. And the trainer designs have always been really interesting to me too. And that's why for me, like, the original trainers are so memorable because they appeared in card form alongside their Pokemon. They like did a combination thing. And so that's, for me, that's what I liked best about the early days of the card game, is when they did that, because it made the trainers memorable to me. And just like Gen 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, like the trainers just get kind of blurred in my head because, I mean, we have like supporter cards, obviously, of some of these trainers, but when they don't like all release alongside a Pokemon, they're just not as memorable to me. And
so 7, 8, and even 9, I can pretty much get down. It's everything before that I have. Well, everything from like 4 through 6 probably for me, where they start to get a little muddy. And a lot of these trainers just don't have. They don't have supporter cards even.
Yeah.
Like they're still trainers from Gen 2 that do not have supporter cards. Yeah. Period. Yeah. Well, that's wild. Like, what?
In Japan we had the VS sets that came out that we never got here, that had the it was like Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, but for Generation 2.
But even still, they still don't have supporter cards, which is my point. Like, there's no Claire supporter card. Yeah. Yeah. But she's on Kingdra. She's on the character rare of Kingdra. But there's no supporter card. Like, there's no full art Claire. There's no Claire supporter card. Like, at least some of these supporters, at least some of these trainers, these gym leaders, they've gotten some junk cards, but at least they've had a card.
Yeah. So it's easier to remember them for me when they get that kind of treatment. So I just hope that these sets do what we hope they're going to do, where it's going to be like the old owner's mechanic, because we haven't had that in quite a long time. I can't remember. It wasn't Plasma that was the last time we had that, was it? No, it was this one. It was the Team Aqua and Magma cards, I think. Was that the last one? What was that set called? Do you remember?
You talking about Double Crisis?
Yeah. There you go. Double Crisis. Yeah, I think that was the last time. So it's been quite a while.
That's been a while ago, and that's what, Gen 6?
Yeah, so we're overdue for that. We're overdue for it. So, I'm excited. I hope it's just like as simple as this, because that would be really nice.
That I'm just looking at that box. I'm sorry. So there's so much text and so little Pokemon on that card. It's ridiculous.
This was the only card of the old days that had a shortened illustration box, because they were trying to make it, I think, special, or by having
so ridiculous.
All the attacks and everything. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get these, and I'm excited. We'll see what happens, but this will obviously be the World's announcement. So, excuse me. So we'll see what that.
Well,
see what
you say obviously they could do something completely to throw us for a loop, but
this
is likely the World's announcement.
Speculating, it's
I think they'll show some cards for this. I do, but like it's never guaranteed.
I mean, ZA, like, I don't know if they're gonna like tease something about it at Worlds and then maybe like do a Mega Evolution announcement or something, but no, that wouldn't make sense, because this is obviously going to be the next year of mechanics, so this is what they're going to be
it depends entirely on when they actually intend to release ZA. I don't think it's going to be toward the beginning of the year. At the earliest, probably we're looking summer.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think it might even be end of year.
Yeah, it's definitely not, or it's not going to be anytime soon. And I think that's also why I just have this overall feeling, although I haven't written it out to write the theory or whatever, but I just have this overall feeling that this generation is being stalled a bit because they're, like I think I said in the previous episode, Creatures I feel like is taking more time with the next games after how much fan criticisms there's been of how rushed they are. So I kind of feel like the Loyal 3 was like a stall tactic a bit, like to introduce some legendaries to stall, and that the card game is like pulling out all these older mechanics to stall because there isn't that much new material. I feel like the last year with Terapagos and Loyal 3 and everything, they were really going slow with introducing those into the card game because they knew there wasn't going to be that much video game material to base the card game off of, things to introduce that are new.
Well, I mean,
so now I feel
that's
like
not entirely fair, right? Because they introduced Terapagos and the DLC content in general in year 2 of Scarlet and Violet's TCG sets. They did the same thing for Sword and Shield year 2.
I understand.
DLCs.
I understand that. What I'm just saying is that normally I feel like in the past they would have pumped those out immediately because there would have been more in the pipeline of the video games to make card content out of, whereas now
that's
it's
what I'm saying is
really,
the DLC or the third game was already year 2, in this case the DLC was year 2, and that was the case for Sword and Shield. They weren't going any slower in Sword and Shield,
but
because Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, that's DLC,
right? But it took so long to get to Terapagos compared to the previous generation, didn't it?
It's year 2 also.
No, but
they're both year 2.
But how long did it take to get to like the monkey the horses, the Calyrex and the Galarian birds and
they
all
were
that?
year 2.
No, I understand they were year 2, but how long within that year did it take to get to them?
The Calyrexes were the second main set in English.
Right. So was that earlier or later than I have to do
maybe one set earlier depending on how you drop stuff. But
okay.
that's like they also didn't do really anything in the third and fourth English sets with regard to the DLC at all, because Evolving Skies wasn't related to the game
right
at all, and neither was Fusion Strike.
So what you're saying
both
is
Chilling Reign and Battle Styles were.
So maybe they slowed it. You're saying maybe they slowed it down a little bit this time to this generation
to let it go through the whole year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe that makes okay. So maybe that's why I was feeling that way. I just had some overall feeling in my head. Again, I can't think out loud. And I have to write things out and do research and all that before I say things. But like, I just had this overall feeling that they were stalling this generation. It just felt that way to me.
No, I don't think so. I think they're just they're letting it. Like, I think the DLC is going to be probably through a good chunk of this year. Like, the Terapagos set's going to be
you're saying
our August. Well, our September set would have normally been our August set. Our November set, we'll see. I don't know if that's actually going to be related to the DLC at all. We'll see.
So what you were saying was just that they were spacing it out better this generation.
Yeah, they kind of crammed the DLC into 2 sets happening last generation.
Okay, so maybe that's what I was feeling then. Okay, well, anyway, so at this point, there's no new video game content coming up anytime soon, it seems, with ZA. We don't know that for sure yet, but it doesn't feel like there is. So now this year, it seems like they're going to introduce this trainer Pokemon thing to have something in the card game to celebrate, because there isn't going to be much video game material to go off of until ZA comes out. So at least in this way, the card game
because then we get this.
Yeah, exactly. So in this way, the card game is waiting for the video games to come up with something new, and they get to do their own special thing in the meantime.
Yep.
So that's exciting. So we'll see what happens at Worlds. I think we'll get more answers at Worlds. We'll have a better picture of how everything's going to happen. So
I really am hoping that we get a 4-year generation, because I'm agree with you. I think that's probably what they're doing also. But of course, we don't know for certain. But I really hope that's what they're doing. I really hope we have a 4th year of Scarlet and Violet.
Take your time, Game Freak. Just take your time. Nobody's rushing you. Release all your Charizard merchandise. People will buy it. You don't have to release new characters right now. I mean, the wait for Diamond and Pearl. I feel like back in the day, like Diamond and Pearl had the longest what was it like? It felt like there were.
It felt like you were waiting for the Blissey bar to go down, or what?
No. It felt like it took like 4 years for those games to come out. Like I remember when I felt like I was waiting forever for Diamond and Pearl to come out. They were like marketing it so early. Like we had Munchlax in the Deoxys movie, and then we had Mime Jr. and Bonsly in the Lucario movie. No, that was. Oh, and Lucario in the Lucario movie. Those were Gen 3 movies. And it just felt like like Gen 4 took forever. And then all of a sudden, I remember thinking like around Gen 5 or 6 maybe, I was like, man, they are really... They are really rushing these games out now. I feel like we used to wait so long between generations, and now it's like so quick. Yeah. So I slow down, Game Freak. It's okay. You can take your time.
People have been asking for them to slow down for a while, and I really hope they're listening. Even if it's just an extra year, that extra year can make a big difference.
Exactly. Like just release your Charizard merchandise, like our next news story I'm going to get to, which is that the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center, the English websites, the Canadian, New Zealand, Canadian, UK websites, US, have released a new Scorching Charizard premium accessories line, which I actually really think are cool. I think they're beautiful, actually.
They're minimalist. Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, these are really nice. I love that the deck box has like the little drawer for the damage counters and dice and all that.
Yeah, I'm glad they've been able to steal that from like Ultimate Guard and such.
Yeah,
a lot of these look like Ultimate Guard products.
They're beautiful. Now, I'm not buying them because I don't like Charizard. I mean, I like Charizard. I like all Pokemon, but like I'm a water Pokemon master, so would not be showing off Charizard merch. But like if they did a Blastoise version, I would be all over this. But I guess like Charizard is what kids like, so they're playing to their audience.
Charizard prints money.
Yep. So, and then they're also releasing a couple of TCG bags alongside of it, a backpack that stores card accessories, as you can see here, a shoulder bag also holding accessories, and then a luggage tag. So, like, I really like these products. I think these are beautiful and they look premium, and they're like put a lot of thought into the design. It's just I wish they would do other characters. But Charizard is what sells, and I was just complaining, or I was just saying, like, take your time, Game Freak, and the new characters are what sells merchandise. So I guess while they're stalling for ZA and Gen 10, they have to release things like this maybe to print money for themselves. So that's what we get. So,
I mean, the Pokemon Center merchandise kind of just does whatever it wants to anyway.
I don't know.
I don't think it's really that beholden to the generation.
I'm half joking, but yeah, it's... I just wish they would... I would like to see other characters. I would love to see Blastoise. I would love to see Venusaur. I'd love to see Lucario. Like, if they're going to stick to a super popular Pokemon, like, do others. Do Gardevoir. Do Darkrai. Do those populars. You don't have to just do Charizard. But anyway. All right, so those are out now at the Pokemon Center as of this morning. When I first posted this, they were only at the New Zealand and UK websites. But it was like maybe 20 minutes after they added them to the US and UK Pokemon Center websites and Canadian. So you can get them everywhere now. But yeah, like I said, I would be all over this if it was another character like Blastoise or whatever. All right. Speaking of additional accessories, releasing alongside the Stellar Sylveon and Seredge decks in Japan on August 30th are going to be a new premium deck box and card sleeves featuring Stellar Sylveon and Seredge. And I think these are absolutely beautiful.
These are gorgeous. Yeah, this is, you can tell this is a Japanese Pokemon Center product because it looks great.
Yeah. And the deck boxes will cost 2,200 yen, which is a little under $20, and the card sleeves will cost 990 yen. They're glossy sleeves, so they're a little more expensive than usual. But yeah, beautiful artwork. Still not a fan of those hats, the crowns.
No, that's like the worst part of this generation, unfortunately, is the dumb hats.
And they're gonna. I hope they don't do it again. I hope that's not gonna be. I hate these generational gimmicks because I feel like they date the accessories. They like tie them to a specific time. Whereas if it's just the Pokemon, it's like universal. It's timeless. So that's what I don't like about these crowns. Plus, they're kind of ugly. Okay.
We can hope that Gen 10 is just bringing back megas like ZA.
Yeah, at least
and then it'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, just new designs.
We can
new
hope,
Pokemon.
right?
Yeah. Speaking of those decks, we had 2 reveals this week for those decks. Let's start with the we got the full translations for Seredge, or I should say the confirmed translations for Sylveon and Seredge. Before they were blurry, but now they're confirmed. And then we had the Charcadet and Eevee. So you want to go through these?
So the only one that's really new here, pretty much the others are we already knew. The only change for Seredge, so it's Abyssal Flame's attack, doesn't specify basic energy. So Abyssal Flame is 30 plus damage and then does 20 more for each energy card in your discard pile. Doesn't specify basic. That's the only real change there. Otherwise, it was already good.
Didn't even notice that.
But the one that actually we did not know before that actually matters is this Eevee, and this is the one I want to hit. So Eevee has the ability boosted evolution. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or on the Pokemon or on the turn rather it was put into play, which is pretty big because that means if you get this into the active spot, you can immediately evolve it up into Sylveon EX or immediately evolve it up into any of the other evolutions that are currently in standard format, right?
Yeah.
So and then there's a another Eevee in this format right now that basically says that if an Eevee or if another Pokemon evolves, that it like chain evolves. So you evolve the one in the active spot, and then suddenly all the other ones can evolve too. It's pretty cool. There's gonna be some cool mechanics with this Eevee.
And then, do you just want to remind people what the Sylveon EX does, or should we just move on?
I think we move on. It's pretty straightforward, really. Yeah, it's just the same effects as before
that we talked about.
So it defends itself for 100 and then nukes a couple Pokemon by shuffling them back in the deck.
So last night we got a lot more cards revealed from those decks. So let's go through those. We had the Ho-Oh, Azumarill, Terra Orb, and 2A specs called Perfect Mixer and Precious Carrier.
Yeah, so we can look at Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh has flat for Fire Colorless, which is 50 damage. And then for Fire Colorless has Shining Blaze, which does 100 damage. And then if you have any benched Terra Pokemon, does 100 more. So you're doing 200 damage for 3 energy, basically, which is not awful. It's not amazing, but it's not bad for a single prizer, especially one that's not especially difficult to set up. So let's look at Azumarill. It has the ability Twinkling Soap, which is one of the most bizarre names for... I went back like 3 different times. I'm like, that is right? Yes, that is right. Okay. So it says Twinkling Soap. Twinkling Soap says double edge used by this Pokemon costs 1 psychic if you have any Terra Pokemon in play. So instead of costing 4 psychic energy, double edge would cost 1 if you have a Terra Pokemon. And then it does 230 damage and does 50 damage to itself. So that's not awful. You're doing 230 for 1 energy just for having a Terra Pokemon in play. That seems okay.
And these A specs.
Precious Carrier has the effect, search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them on your bench, then shuffle your deck. So this reminds me of a Pichu from Heart Gold and Soul Silver that basically just lets you fill your bench. Although I think it also lets your opponent. But in this case, this is just you. This is really strong effects. I'm curious what decks are actually going to play this over something like Prime Catcher or... Prime Catcher primarily, but there are obviously other ones that would be considered depending on the deck. But Precious Carrier seems really, really good for something like Charizard that wants to go wide right away. And then you also have something like Area Zero Under Depths that lets you get an 8 Pokemon bench. Mm-hmm. And this would allow you to find 8 Pokemon to throw them on the bench, making something like Palkia extraordinarily potent. Yep. Just something to be aware of. So Precious Carrier seems pretty good. We'll see how much play it actually sees, but it seems pretty good for decks that want to set up, and a lot of decks want to set up. And then Perfect Mixer. I love this card partly because I have like a custom card set that I've created for a while, and I haven't done much with it recently, but this card is a 1-for-1 for one of the cards in one of my custom sets. Like the name is literally the only thing that's different. So this is Super Compressor. Compressor was what I called it. This is Perfect Mixer. This is search your deck for up to 5 cards and discard them, then shuffle your deck. Super Compressor and Perfect Mixer are both Ace specs, which is hilarious to me. This is basically a Battle Compressor that's been made in Ace spec and is slightly more potent. And 5 cards was the right call for both both versions of this card, if you will. So yeah, you're searching your deck, just nuking 5 cards out of it immediately and being done with it. This is really interesting for decks that want stuff in the discard pile. Something like United Wings is very interested in this card. Right now, United Wings favors Secret Box, but this is now definitely a consideration because this is just an instant 100 damage right out of the gate. You can find something. You can find this off of something like Arven or Irida, so that's also interesting. Ancient Box might also consider this because, again, that's an instant 5 Pokemon in the discard pile or 5 cards in the discard pile that can help contribute to damage. It's really interesting, right? This is one of those cards where you're like, maybe.
Terra Orb. Who would have predicted this effect?
Who would have predicted a Cherish Ball for Terra Pokemon? I certainly wouldn't have said anything about that in the past. Anyway, so it said Terra Orb says search your deck for a Terra Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck, which is 100% what we expected.
Yeah.
So you're finding your Terrapagos, you're finding your Charizard, you're finding whatever Terra Pokemon you want to grab and throw it in your hand.
Mm-hmm. And then if you buy these decks or any other recent deck products from the Pokemon Center, you'll get Reverse Hollow Eevee, the one from Night Wanderer with the special stamp.
It's a little stamp, yep.
Cool beans. All right.
Yeah, I'm interested because these cards are a lot more interesting than you would expect from decks like this. So I'm kind of happy to see them.
Yeah, they're and it feels like they're really promoting these decks too. I mean, we have the accessories and they're turning it into a big celebration. So now our next news story, which was this morning, is that Creatures has selected the top 100 entries for 2024's Pokemon Illustrator contest. And they also said that the top artwork will be seen at Worlds. They're going to have some kind of gallery there. So I don't know if they're going to print out the artwork or have it like on an LCD screen or something. But if you go to Worlds in Honolulu, you're going to be able to see all this artwork in person. So they announced the top 100. I'd like to point out that our old site artist, Zaus, made it to the second round once again. He's done that twice. That's now. Cool. Yeah. So I didn't get to actually look through all these yet, but I love this Absol here. Point out. I'm going to just scroll and you point out your favorites. Any you like? You don't like any?
That stoic face. No, I like some of them. It's just like, it's nothing that really screams at me.
It's funny because, like, okay, I'm just going to jump. Here's
some of the Koraidon ones are really cool. I like.
Here's Zaus.
Some of the Toxtricity ones. That one in particular, yeah, that one's just super cool. I like that art.
That's our old site artist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Zaus, yep. And then the EXs, wait, let me jump down to the EXs because I feel like there were only a couple of them.
There were on the Melmetal. There were a bunch of Melmetal that were really cool too.
Yeah, Melmetal had really cool art. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there were only a couple of EX cards. So one of these is going to be turned into an EX. One of these is going to be printed. So because they're going to print one regular card, one EX, and then one of either. So I'm assuming it's going to be like 2 regular cards and 1 EX.
Probably. They seem to have narrowed down the EXs pretty drastically.
Yeah, so probably going to be... And there's too much really good artwork here that's not an EX.
Yeah.
So it would have to be... But yeah. That is beautiful. So we'll see what...
We need to look at the Melmetal a little bit more.
Yeah, let's look.
Look at that one. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's coming out of hot metal.
It looks like a giant vat of molten metal is what it looks like, which is...
Liquid metal, yep.
Banger. I love it.
Oh, they took out that one that they added after the AI controversy. I like that one.
Yeah, I kind of figured those would probably all leave because I think they were just fillers, basically.
Yeah, it was...
but it's still cool they made them.
It was this one.
Did any of these...
No.
The Flygon made it, though, didn't it?
Did it? No, I don't think... Did the Absol make it? No, the Absol didn't make it. I don't think any of them made it, actually. Oh, I can't see. I don't know.
I was going to say you have
to
search by the artist's name, but it's still cool.
That would make more sense than what I just did. But yeah, we'll see what happens. They're going to narrow it down in the... Oh, look at Basil. They're going to...
Yeah, that's not me, sorry.
They're going to narrow it down in the coming months. They'll announce it in September who won. So we've got like August. Yeah, we've got like another month and a half maybe. So we'll see what happens. I bet they've already picked their top 3 and they're starting to print them.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet that's probably the case too. Props to all the artists who've submitted and who got this far. We even got to the top 300, honestly. There were so many artists that didn't even make the top 300 that do some incredible work. Mm-hmm. Like I'm the kind of person that I struggle to draw stick figures.
Me too.
So seeing people seriously, seeing art like this is just astounding. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I don't envy these judges who have to like narrow this down. It seems like an impossible task. I mean, just look at it. Like this random, all of these could be a set. Like they should just make like a fan set or something. That would be really cool.
Right.
All right, so we'll see what happens there. What's our other stories of the week? Okay, this Pikachu promo got revealed, the one we were talking about last week.
Yes, it did.
So this will be available at Pokemon Leagues and at various retailers, including GameStop, as I posted last week. So it'll be available from August 6th, I can't read, August 2nd to 18th at the online Pokemon Center, and then at GameStop. And then if you go to your local Pokemon League and they're having a World Celebration event, you'll be able to get it there as well. They did that last year where they were giving out like some merchandise, I think. Do you remember that? They gave out like statues and things to celebrate Worlds. So I imagine they're going to do sort of the same thing again. But yeah, here's the Pikachu. It's with Mew. It's a reprint of the one.
Yeah,
from
I mean, they did a
year.
promo like this last year for Leagues too, and I think they're doing it again this year. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to get some in. I'm up for it. We already pre-planned our World Championships celebration tournament prior to them even announcing this.
Yeah,
so it's all good.
Oh God, I forgot about this story.
You didn't forget. You just saved it for later.
No, did I? Okay, so Surging Sparks will be the name of our November set, releasing November 8th. Pre-releases will take place from October 26th to November 3rd. As the name implies, Surging Sparks will be based on Japan's Supercharged Breaker, featuring Terra Pikachu EX. That'll release in Japan on October 18th. Excuse me. So our set should also be based on Paradise Dragona, which releases on September 13th before Supercharged Breaker. We've already confirmed that'll feature dragon Pokemon like Latios, and Alolan Executor. Excuse me. That set should be revealed next month in Japan. And then Surging Sparks should probably also have the Stellar, Sylveon, and Seredge decks.
I do wonder if they might save the Sylveon in particular, because I know there's going to be that Evolution set, so they may drag it into the Evolution set.
Oh, that's what you were going to say.
See.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say for the Ultra Premium collection, but yeah.
No, I think it might be for that Evolution set, just because they probably will print the other ones and probably won't give Sylveon a second card. They'll probably just drag it into that set.
And then we're getting. Last week we were talking about the new Ultra Premium collection that's coming out on November 1st. This is a week before Surging Sparks comes out. So it's a little, this is like a new situation where it's just 1 week away from a set. So, but it's not releasing at the exact same time as the set. So it's a little confusing. Like, is this going to be
watch it be the Seredge?
It could be, yeah. I don't know if this is going to be, if this Ultra Premium collection is going to have to do with Surging Sparks or if it's going to be an independent UPC. We'll see. We still do have a full art card getting cut from, what's it called? Stellar Crown. So maybe it'll end up here.
Yeah,
like
it could
Tropicos. Could be maybe Tropicos or something. But we'll see. This is 1 week away from Surging Sparks, so I don't know what they're going to do here.
It is interesting because like the English set names are always vaguely related to the cards in the set, like the big chase cards. Like the Sparks obviously is Pikachu, but Surging.
Oh yeah, I thought that too. I was like, why isn't it like some kind of like dragon?
That would imply
adjective.
Water, probably, right?
It would imply what?
Water, most likely.
Oh, surging like an electrical surge is what I thought. But you're saying it could be also...
Yeah, but sparks is already that electrical
yeah.
idea. Like, it could be like a surge of water, right? I don't know. It
should have been like... if it had been like soaring sparks...
Well, soaring would just be very clearly a dragon thing.
Yeah, but I mean, soaring...
Or flying Pokemon at least.
But sparks that soar is also kind of a weird... But anyway, they should... Yeah. It feels like the first word should have been referencing dragons more clearly. That's where I was like, why is
it even dragons though? That's
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, why is it called surging? Like they should have. But let's think of past sets that have done this. We had Vivid Voltage, which was obviously it had the amazing rares. It was a reference
to the amazing rares.
Yeah, the Vivid was a reference to the amazing rares, and then the Voltage was what set was that? Which was what set was that? Can't remember. And then what was
Amazing is it Amazing Volt Tackle?
Oh yeah. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Amazing Volt Tackle. Yeah, so that was like perfectly referencing both Japanese sets, but this one, it's weird. It's like they're not. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, it should. There's no reason there's no reason they would delay Paradise Dragona because that would be really odd to release. It would be odd to release the Supercharged Breaker cards. And then not release Paradise Dragona cards in English because Paradise Dragona comes out before Supercharged Breaker, and we're getting those cards obviously in Surging Sparks.
Yeah,
so it would be
weird, but I mean they have done something like that before.
Yeah, but not recent, but not like
possible,
but not like in recent times. They haven't like moved whole sets like that unless they were like a special, like obviously a special set. Although I guess Dragon Pokemon. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Okay, we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. But note, I said our set should be based on.
It should, and I'm still leaning that direction too. But the English set name makes me put a little bit of a question mark on it.
But maybe they just weren't creative this time around. I don't know. Like
maybe
it should have been like roaring sparks. Now that would have made sense because it's like dragons and then sparks that like.
Yeah, I don't know about Roaring Sparks. That just sounds like a knockoff version of Roaring Skies.
Oh, right. That's. I think I was probably subconsciously pulling that adjective out of that set name. But I'm sure they could have come up with something that referenced dragons too, but they didn't. So I don't know why. All right.
At least they didn't throw fates into the set name, right?
Throw what?
At least it doesn't have fates in the set name.
Oh yeah. Well, they reserve that for.
I get it, but still.
All right, and then we have
World's merch.
The only one that they only revealed the price of the ukulele so far, which is going to be $59.99. They didn't.
That's so random.
Yeah, and then these will be at the Pokemon Center at Worlds. You don't need a Worlds Pass or spectator badge or whatever to get in, but you do have to make a reservation. So be sure you do that. I'll be going on Wednesday, so. But I don't know if I'm going to get any of this, to be honest. So let's go through it. You got the backpack.
The backpacks are always popular.
Yeah, but I'm not wearing that backpack out in public because it's just too loud.
It is pretty loud. The dice sets are always popular too.
Yeah, I would probably get maybe just a dice set because that's like something functional that I'll use. But other than that, I don't know if I would want. I don't know, the lanyards kind of cool, I guess, but I always have leftover lanyards from conventions, and I just end up throwing them away after a while. So the plush, I don't know if I like these. It's cute. I mean, the plush are cute. Like this is a funny. I like that the camera's in the waterproof bag and everything, but I don't know if I would want these in my house to decorate. And then here's the ukulele. But yeah, I mean, it's cool if you're a fan that likes merch, then this is obviously up your alley. But I'm 35 now and I just don't have room for stuff anymore. I've got how many years of Pokemon merch around this house, so I try to not buy things as much anymore. But yeah, I'd probably maybe get the dice set or something.
I feel that. I'm going to be moving here in the next month and a half, and I'm like, it's time to purge.
Yeah. And again, I don't like when merchandise is tied to a time. Although I guess like it totally makes sense for Worlds because you want to remember your vacation.
For
there and all
Worlds,
that.
I think it's a very appropriate thing. Yeah.
It makes sense. It's just like for me personally, I don't like it. But I'm not saying that that's wrong. That's totally right to do that. But just not my kind of thing. Like if they had like some kind of like I don't know, some kind of thing with a bunch of water Pokemon, and it wasn't referencing the World's logo or the snorkeling Pikachu or whatever. Like then I might be interested. Like some kind of like water type thing that's not tied down to a time by using the World's logo, but. They're not going to do that. So
it's an all new promo card, Snorkeling Pikachu EX. It's a water type.
Yeah, that would be cool. Oh, I would get that. Yeah, that'd be because that's easy. Like you can always a card takes up no space, so a commemorative card is definitely cool. But anyway, yeah, I might pick up the dice set, but that's about it. But I'm sure other fans will want all of this. Okay, so. What else was there this week? Was that it? Just got some English Shrouded Fable.
There was one
cards.
minor story. Yeah, there were some reveals for Shrouded Fable. Honestly, these reveals are less interesting than the comments section on this article.
Why? What'd they say?
People are just being silly in the comments. Is what it comes down to.
I didn't check. And the layout I have, the CSS I'm using here isn't. Oh, okay. Wait, I can see some of the comments. Dangerous laser.
Just the emoji spam. I'm running 4 dangerous lasers. No, you're not. They're specs. And somebody's talking about running 60 in their deck. It's absurd, but it's funny.
Oh, if Justin Basil and Water Pokemon Master don't discuss these comments in the next podcast video, I will be extremely disappointed. Well, we naturally started discussing them, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah. They were just having a lot of fun with it, I think. Yeah, the set is fine. It's decent for players. It's not that great for collectors. We already knew that.
I thought you were... Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that is what you're saying. Right. I thought you were saying... Yep. I misheard what you said. Yeah, because you've been saying before, you said it was not a... No, we were both saying it's not a collector set, and you were... saying it was more of a player set. And we were
which is funny because players don't really sell sets. So
yeah, that set is just kind of like a weird anomaly. It's like does not feel like a holiday set. I mean, it's a Halloween set, but it just doesn't feel very special. And even the Japanese
I don't even
set,
consider it that.
Yeah, even the Japanese set, like those legendaries, just aren't really. People don't. I feel like really like those legendaries. They're just
nope.
Yeah, so it's just not. The characters just
it's funny too great. Because like the Treasures of Ruin are some of my favorite legendaries, but the lousy 3 I don't like them at all.
Yeah, I like the story of them, but and they're villains too, and they're poison type, which is kind of like rock or ground, where it's just like eh. It's like one of those types where it's like eh. So and it's an ugly bird. Pheasantipity is an ugly bird, and then you have an ugly little monkey thing.
Genuinely, I think Pheasantipity is the least offensive of the three.
Really? I don't like Pheasantipity. I like
they're all pretty. I
think
ugly.
okay. I think Okie Doki's okay, but like,
would you say Dory? That you think Okie Dokie is Okie Dokie?
Yeah. Yes, I would. Monkey Dory is not all hunky dory. I think Monkey Dory is ugly. Mm-hmm. And
I think Monkey Dory is probably the ugliest of the 3.
Yeah.
They're all pretty bad though.
Pecharunt is, I guess, okay.
Yep, don't like Pecharunt either.
For me, he's just okay. But I like their story, and I like that YouTube short they released about them. Like that was really cool. Mm-hmm. Although I think what made it cool was that it had what's her face? Oh God, it's been a long week. No, the mask. Ogerpon. Oh my God.
Ogerpon.
You know, I've been up in the attic all week and inhaling the insulation, and then I broke through the ceiling by accident, like fell through the ceiling. So there's a big hole in the ceiling right there. and I have to patch it.
That's
I've had
exciting.
a horrible week. And the attic was like 160 degrees this week because we've had a heat wave here in SoCal. And I don't know why. I just decided to do attic work this week. And I also decided to do deep cleaning of the house on Sunday. And I got dust from the attic all over the house now. Everything is covered in dust. And I don't even know why I cleaned on Sunday. So I've had a exhausting week. So my brain is just not. Anyway. All right. But I'm excied for, I think, the owner's Pokemon. I'm really excited for that. And I hope they...
Yes, I am too.
I hope it's just... I want it to be simple. I want it to be like Misty's Gyarados or whatever. Because that's how the original sets were, and that's what's most nostalgic to me. So I want it to be that.
Erica's Blossom EX.
Yeah. Or, yeah, just
right.
it'd be nice. So we'll see what they do. I'm excited for Worlds, and I'll be there covering it live when they... I think at Worlds, there's usually like a 1.5 minute delay with the stream. When I've covered things at Worlds before, I've noticed there is a delay. So I'll just be sitting there taking photos of their video when they announce it. So I should be able to get it up 1.5 minutes before you all see it on stream. And then I'll post a story after, obviously. But so stay tuned.
I'm excited to see what they actually end up revealing.
Yeah, I want classic trainers, and I also want those middle generations so that I can like remember their names and stuff. Because I can't. They all blend together for me. Like, can you name a Gen 6 gym leader, water type? Oh, I cannot remember for the life of me.
Is there a water type gym leader in Gen 6?
So we had Misty. Gen 2, we didn't have a water type. Gen 3, we had Wallace.
And Juan, right?
And Juan,
Isn't Juan also?
Uh-huh. Gen 4, we had Crasherwig. Gen 5, we had the tan dude. What was his name? Marlin?
What?
Was that Marlin? The tan dude in like black and white too?
The tan dude.
The tan dude. Do you remember? Marlin? Was that
You're
his
talking
name?
about Black 2, White 2?
Yeah. Was that Marlin?
Yeah, it's Marlin.
And then Gen 6. What was Gen 6? Oh, X and Y. Okay.
Yeah, I've cheated. I pulled it up. There is no water type gym leader in Colossus. It's Viola
there's
for Bug,
the cook
Grant
guy.
Rock, Karina for Fighting, Ramos is Grass, Clement Lightning or Electric.
Yeah. And then we had
Valerie Fairy, Olympia is Psychic, and Wolfric is Ice. There's no water type gym leader.
But we had the Elite Four cook guy, the blonde one. He was water type. I forget his name. He had a supporter, didn't he? I think he did. What was his name? And then Gen 7 was... What's after
Lana.
X and Y? No, what's after X and Y?
Lana.
Wait. Oh, Lana, right. I would have remembered
that
Lana.
one. She's memorable enough. I can.
No,
remember
she
her.
is. I can remember Lana easily.
But she's also... Gen 7 did a pretty good job in general with
their trainers. Gen 8...
And actually advertising, because they all got cards, unlike some of the other generations.
Gen 8 was Scarlet and Violet. Don't spoil it. Wait, water. What was the water? Who is the water? I can't even remember a single gym leader. Oh, I'm having so much trouble.
I'll give you a hint. He's getting a card very soon.
Tell me one gym leader from that generation. It'll unlock the others.
From which generation?
From 8. What did I say that was? Was that Scarlet Violet?
You're talking about Scarlet Violet? That's Gen 9.
No, shoot. Sword and Shield. What am I saying? Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield?
Name a gym leader. Name
Nessa.
one. No, not the water type. You're supposed to name another one. Oh, how funny. I was actually at E3 when she was... I think when she was revealed.
Well, you were asking for the Gen 9 water type gym leader.
I know. I'm all mixed up. Okay, my memory is corrupt. All right.
Gen 8's fairly memorable too. I don't know. I think Gen 8's gym leaders are fairly memorable.
Galar.
Like some of the Gen 9 ones aren't that great. Like
no.
Who cares about Katie? I'm sorry. But
did she just have like a really cool Katie's the didn't she just have like a really cool scene in the anime?
I don't know, because it's on Netflix. I haven't been watching it.
She just had like she had a really cool battle in the anime recently. Wait, let me look. Hold on. I'll show you. It was... Hold on. KT Battle Pokemon. No. Is it this one?
But like,
Oh, it's an
Katie is no
AMV.
Larry.
Dang it, this is an AMV. She just had like a really cool Terastal battle with against Katie Battle Pokemon.
But she's no Larry. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go. Dang it, these AMVs. These are all AMVs. Minus.
Yeah, it's not. You're not gonna find it, and we can't show it on here anyway because we'll get claimed. So
Oh, is that why?
whatever. But yeah.
That's why. Okay. Well, then let me go on Twitter then. Oh no! Well, this video got taken down.
This video will get claimed.
What?
Yeah.
We're talking about it. What? That's like
Doesn't
fair
matter.
use. It's fair use. We're talking about.
They don't care.
Oh my god. Copyright system. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening and watching, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. Is there anything coming up this week? Can't think of any news that would be coming up this
That's what I can think of.
What? Oh, you're
said
saying
not
not
that
that
I
I
can
can
think
think
of.
of. Yeah.
No.
But thanks for joining us. If you got this far in the video, say oddish.
Oddish?
Oddish. Oddish odd.
Lord. Before we scare everyone away with our Pokemon impressions.
Remember, it's the episode with Bulbasaur. When he catches Bulbasaur and there's that oddish in the episode and Misty was like mean to it.
Yeah, Misty's mean to a lot of Pokemon.
I know.
Everybody's like, oh, they love her so much. It's like, she's kind of an asshole. I'm sorry.
And I think in the episode she goes, oh, I hope she tells the oddish, she starts crying and she goes, oh, I hope we can be friends. I'm sorry I mistreated you. She goes, I feel like I'm getting cold-hearted lately. And then Ash pops up behind her and goes, you were always cold-hearted.
Exactly. Like, she's a jerk.
And she's talking to the oddish and it's like, oddish, oddish, oddish. I can't do it. And you've got the Bulbasaur. Anyway. You should be able
This
to...
Oddish is going to evolve into a Gloom already.
Gloom. Then you had the episode with Erica and Gloom where Erica's gym burns down and Ash gets the badge because he rescues Gloom from the gym. And we had Vileplume, owned by Jezebel. And then we had Crazy Jezebel. And then we had Blossom in the second movie short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and it also had a song.
The Blossom dance.
It had a song. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. It goes, Bell, Blossom.
Yes. Blossom wins,
Blossom
I think,
is-
on the front ever.
Blossom is awesome.
Yes. Also my
right.
favorite Pokemon.
Well, I know. All right. We will see you all next week. Thanks for joining.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll see you.
Bye.